Liverpool lose to Southampton to conclude match day 17. Daniel Ings, ex-Red, ex-Liverpool player, gets the winning goal in the second minute, and Southampton is able to hold on to the 1-0 lead. Liverpool is not playing their best football right now. They have 2 points out of 9. They're really struggling to score goals. They're really struggling to win games right now. I think teams have kind of figured out the way Liverpool play with their wingbacks. They could expose their wingbacks when they go up. If you put a lot of players behind the ball, Liverpool is struggling to break you down. They're struggling to be creative. They're struggling to find the passing lanes. They're struggling to find the runs, to find their attacking trio of Firmino, Salah, and Mane. So I think teams have kind of figured out Liverpool, and a drop in form for a lot of players in Liverpool too, namely Trent Alexander-Arnold. He's been struggling as of late. His defense has been really shaky, to say the least. Klopp has to talk to him and figure it out. Like, you got to defend tighter. On that goal for Daniel Ings, I don't know what Trent Alexander-Arnold was doing. The ball was coming to him at a pretty good height for him to just header it out. He thought about it too much. I think he wanted to chest it last second. Didn't make up his mind. He ended up doing nothing. He just let the ball go through. And then beautiful, exquisite finish by Daniel Ings to score the goal over Alisson. Beautiful goal. And then after that, Liverpool just struggled. They couldn't figure out how to break down Southampton's defense. They didn't look dangerous at all. They had 0 shots on target at halftime. And in the second half, they weren't that much better. So I think Liverpool is really struggling to find goals. They really need Jota to come back from his injury. He was scoring a lot of goals for Liverpool before he got injured. He's almost healthy enough to play, so they really need him to come back and come back strong. The thing that worries me about Liverpool is they really are struggling to find goals, and it's evident against the result they got against West Brom. It was alarming at the time, but it's even more alarming now that we have more results for West Brom, because that was the second game for Allardyce. Allardyce, he got signed as the coach for West Brom, and in his first game he lost 3-0 to Aston Villa, and then he tied to Liverpool. So you're like, okay, maybe he's turning a page. He's fixing West Brom. He's never been relegated. Giving him a lot of props for getting that result against Liverpool. And then after Liverpool, he lost 5-0 to Leeds, and he lost 4-0 to Arsenal. So out of the 4 games that Sam Allardyce has coached for West Brom, the only point he's earned, the only positive result, the only goal that his team has scored came against Liverpool. So that's a red flag for me. It was a red flag that they lost, that they tied to West Brom when it happened. Now that we have more data, now that we have more games, the fact that Aston Villa put 3 on West Brom, Leeds put 5 on them, Arsenal put 4 on them, and Liverpool couldn't get it done, got a 1-1 tie. Then now it's like, okay, what's going on with Liverpool? Why were they not able to break them down? Why are they struggling to get results? Why could they not score against Southampton? They need to figure it out. Klopp needs to get this team together, because it looked like Liverpool, after their 7-0 victory against Crystal Palace, was going to break away from the pack. They were going to start building their lead. We're going to see the Liverpool from last year. I came on this show and I said that Liverpool, there's just levels to this. I said Liverpool was just ahead of everybody. And now they're tied in points with Manchester United, and Manchester United has a game in hand, so they could move up the table. And City has 2 games in hand, so if they win both of those games, they would pass Liverpool too. So Liverpool has to get it together. They're still my pick to win the Premier League this season, because they've struggled against smaller teams. Southampton has done good this season, so they're kind of up there in the table, but they struggled against West Brom. They struggled against like Brighton and stuff like that. So they struggled against the weak teams, and they've gotten results against the big 6 teams. So just because of that, I still have the most faith in Liverpool, because they are getting the results against the big teams. They just got to get it together against these smaller teams. But that game against Manchester United on January 17th, that's going to be very key to determine who wins the title race, or if it's wide open again. If United win that game, then it's going to be a wide open Premier League season the whole way. Because Liverpool, they're one of those teams that can get on the run and just build a gap against anybody else. If they lose to United, then that just opens it up for City, for Tottenham, even for Everton, for Leicester. It just Chelsea, even Arsenal now that they're finding their form. So we'll see how they do against Manchester United. Manchester United is playing good right now, so they might go into Anfield and just stop the streak. I forgot how many games it is, but they might go in there on the 17th and beat Liverpool on Anfield. I wouldn't bet against it. I wouldn't bet for it because I have to see it happen before. No one's beating Liverpool at home. But they are struggling right now. They need to score goals. They need Jota to come back. But we'll see. This Premier League season has been crazy. Goal differential is going to be crucial at the end of the season. So clean sheets and score a lot of goals when you have a good game. Score a lot of good goals when you have good games. Make the most out of your good games because there's a lot of inconsistency this season. So when you're having a good game, when your players are on, make sure to run up the score. Try to get as many goals as you can. And if you're having a bad game, try to keep your losses down. Lose by 1 goal. Try to keep as many clean sheets as you can. Because at the end of the season, goal differential is going to be key. And yeah, hopefully Liverpool is able to turn it around because they're still my pick to win the league. My opinion, they'll still repeat. But we'll see. If they lose to Manchester United, then I might have to make a different pick at that point.